Okay, chat, we got our last video. It's a NBA video. For those of you that don't know, I'm a pretty big NBA fan. I have been for a while. I went to my first basketball game, NBA game in 2009 when I was like maybe 7, in Cleveland, Ohio. We rocking with the Cavaliers, baby. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into this last one. I think it's about the New York Knicks winning the finals. But yeah, sucks for any of y'all living in New York. Y'all should hopefully those riots are over. I just seen a video of a bus getting torn apart after the Knicks won the championship. Crazy, dude. People need to get arrested for that shit. That is just so, it's basketball, man. Come on. Anyway, this comeback should have been impossible. Lock in.
Going down 3-1 in the NBA Finals is virtually a death sentence. Throughout the 79 final series in NBA history, 38 of them reached the dreaded 3-1 deficit, and only one team has come back from it.
Cleveland! This is for you!
And with that being the case, it was imperative that the San Antonio Spurs won Game 4 on Wednesday night in Madison Square Garden to prevent going down 3-1 in the series and give themselves a real chance to win an NBA title. And that's exactly what they were on track to doing. Through the first half of Game 4, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs put together arguably their best half of the entire season. Record-breaking efficiency, stifling defense, and a first half of basketball so dominant that it earned them the third largest lead going into the half in the history of the finals.
Yep, we watched.
76-49, a 27.
Excluding the bubble. What the fuck? Like, and let me give a hot take here. This was a real graphic on ESPN. Largest halftime lead by road team in NBA Finals history, excluding 2020 bubble. Yo, and let me just say, hot take, and I'm not a LeBron guy, like a Glazer like that. He's my 4th best player of all time, okay? I'll just say that. But I don't know why everybody acts like the bubble was just not a good ring for the Lakers. They only say that because LeBron won it, number one, let's be honest. Number two, that is like, aside from his 3-1 comeback, like that's his hardest championship, 100%, I think. I think the 3-1's more impressive because it's never been done, the whole story around it, Cleveland, you know, the 52-year drought and everything like that. But if you guys remember back in the bubble, that was like pure hoops. You had guys like, there was no crowd. You had guys like TJ Warren putting up Michael Jordan numbers in the bubble. Like, you had guys like Tyler Hero, who's not played that good since the bubble days. Like, man, dude, like anybody could blow, like just go off in the bubble. And LeBron won the shit. So I don't understand why, the Mickey Mouse ring, it was, you know, this, that, and the other. Like, no, dude, get out of here. Like, that is a 100% like a tough ring, and it should 100% be counted. I don't know. People don't count it because it was LeBron James that won the ring. And I don't know, LeBron's kind of this weird player where like he has like a huge fan of haters and then a huge fan of Glazers. We don't really have a lot of people in the middle with LeBron for some reason. It's either like one end or the other with most people, but I tend to be in the middle somewhere. I think I have a pretty objective outlook on his career, but maybe some, I know people would disagree with me because it's LeBron James, but yeah, I don't know, man. The bubble ring is valid. It's 100% valid. I get it was COVID and it was just a weird time, but that's a valid ring, and he's a 4-time champ, you know, so I don't know. Let's get back.
6-49, a 27-point chasm separating them and the New York Knicks. An impossibly large deficit for the Knicks to overcome. In fact, the largest comeback ever achieved in the finals was 24 points. So, barring literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals,
Whew,
the
Curtis
Spurs
Bryant,
were
man.
guaranteed to tie up the series going
I
back
like
to
him a
San
lot.
Antonio with the wins at their back and all the momentum leading into Game 5. What transpired over the next 24 minutes of game time was literally the worst half of basketball in the history of the finals.
It's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining! Knicks take the lead! Bedlam here at the Garden!
Yeah, this was crazy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't like the Spurs. Big thing, big thing. They beat the Thunder. I don't think anybody's rocking with the Thunder in 2026. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm glad they beat the Thunder. I wanted New York to win just because I wanted the East to win, but I just don't think I don't think the Spurs were ready, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people were saying the Western Conference Finals is basically the finals. I totally disagreed with that prior to the series. But yeah, my biggest thing with Vic is he's 7'4". He shoots a jump shot way too much. Way too much. He's way taller than your average center. Not way taller, but like he's significantly, I think, taller than your average center. And he just shoots the ball a lot. Like, I get you have that in your bag, but like, dude, you are 7'4". Your nickname is the Alien. Let's get to the rim. You know what I mean? And they'll talk about that on ESPN, on NBA on ESPN and stuff like that. And I totally agree. I totally agree.
The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history!
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek.
Nope.
Tickets, offers, and more, including my get back % off in the description. Promo code.
What is this? Oh, that's their lead. Should have put up the house, man. Should have put up the house. And that was one thing I think I seen the stat. It was like the Spurs led the NBA Finals for like 71% of the entire series. Is that like the meta these days? The Knicks did it. They did it a bunch in the playoffs. Come back against the Cavs too. My Cavaliers. I was pissed in that game one. It totally lost us the series, blowing a 22-point lead or whatever it was. Like, dude, come on. This shit's so painful to watch. And then the Nuggets were on that shit, like against the Lakers a few years ago in their playoff series. It's like, what is that the meta? To just play like shit and then lock in for the last, the last quarter? Like,
is a graph of the live win probability from Game 4 of the NBA Finals, according to Inpredictable.com. The San Antonio Spurs played so well in the first half that by the end of the first quarter, the Knicks' win probability was already just 17.6%. By halftime, the Knicks' win probability fell to just 1.5%. And with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, their probability of winning this game was just 1%.
Dude, that is crazy. Bet the house, dude.
1%. Unfortunately for the Spurs, basketball is more than just a game of probability.
Holy hell. 100.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a visual representation of the greatest comeback in the history of the finals, and quite possibly the history of the NBA. Because what the Knicks did on Wednesday night wasn't just improbable, it should have been impossible.
This is an insane graph. I don't think we'll see this shit ever again, at least for another 50 years.
How in the world did
Unless that's the new meta, like I was saying.
the Knicks pull this off? Well, you have to see it to believe it.
Earlier in the series, Keldon Johnson goes in hard. Can't get it, but tip misses.
The first signs of a catastrophic meltdown by the Spurs all started right about here. With just under 9 minutes left in the third quarter, down 27, Josh Hart brings the ball down the court and feeds OG Anunoby for an easy dunk. The Knicks playing with a tangible sense of urgency considering their circumstance. The Spurs rebuttal.
Right now.
Shooting threes. And they did this shit in other games too. I remember hearing about it. I don't remember which game it was, but it was like they just like for whatever reason just they got comfortable and then they went like 0 for 8 from 3. I don't know if it was this game. It might be. He might talk about it, but it's like, what are we doing? And again, you have a 7'4" center, like, and he was part of it. He's part of the problem. Like, why? What are you doing? Like, seriously, that shit's so painful to watch, man.
A contested 25-footer 4 seconds into the shot clock.
Yeah, that's a terrible fucking shot, no matter who you are. Unless if you are like Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson, like you are a fucking elite shooter. 4 seconds into the shot clock, we're a one pass three-pointer on a possession. I don't care if you're up 30, 40, 50. That's like a top 2 worst shot in basketball. 100%.
And his commentary on this possession could not have been more spot on.
And right now, Mike Brown doesn't mind those quick threes by the Spurs. Even if they go in, you want to speed this game up to give your team more possessions.
Just moments later, Jalen Brunson hits a 3, putting the Knicks on a 7-0 scoring run while Taylor Swift cosplays as an actual Knicks fan. Spurs call a timeout, their game plan still intact. For now. Just a couple possessions later, after a miss from Brunson, the Spurs come down and get into a 2-man game with Wemby setting a screen for De'Aaron Fox. Wemby pops out, and Fox passes the ball to absolutely no one. Knicks ball, we're going
careless.
Fortunately for San Antonio, the Knicks do not convert on this possession, so the Spurs have a chance to come down and extend their lead back up to 25. With another deep, wildly contested three-pointer that, of course, doesn't fall.
What the fuck? Like, what are we doing? Like, dude, just watching that possession back.
The Knicks do not convert on this possession, so the Spurs have a chance to come down and extend their lead back up to 25.
Look, Dylan Harper, drive, nothing. Okay, we have 12 seconds on the shot clock now. Pull the ball out. We have half the shot clock. Kick. What? How are you feeling? You're feeling some kind of way with those fucking metallic shoes? You catch the ball with 12 seconds. Anunoby. All over you, and you're on the ground looking for a call. That's another issue with the NBA today. Stop playing for a fucking whistle, man. Stop playing for the whistle. That shit's garbage. That's why the whole nation wanted the Thunder to lose this year, because they do that shit. Big problem with, and then Adam Silver going on that interview talking about, oh yeah, it's not really an issue. Are we serious? Are we serious?
Of course, doesn't fall. The Knicks, on the other hand, come down, move the ball around until they find OG in the corner for this open look. The lead now down to 19.
Yep.
On a 10-0 run.
Now it's like,
one can only assume the
okay, it's just 19.
Probably stop shooting early shot clock threes and really get into their half-court offense, right?
Points, Brunson with 22. They've got 44 of the 62. Johnson wide open. Can't hit.
Right.
Right.
Well, at least on the next possession, the Spurs do a better job at getting into something that resembles a coherent offensive set.
Fox, step back, 3.
It's another highly contested step back 3. And another miss. What's worse than another missed 3?
Cornette checks in. Hart tries a
Them hit one.
Giving up another 3 on the other end just 27 seconds later. The Knicks now on a 13-0 run. Eventually, the Spurs got back on track and maintained their lead over the next 6 minutes, slowly working down the clock and holding off the
But
Knicks.
it's like damn near too late because it's a game of momentum, right? It's a game of runs. And like really what this boils down to, them just chucking up threes, like there's another one. I get this one's later in the shot clock, but still. Like, I think what obviously it just boils down to inexperience. This is a super young team, and I think they'll have success in the future. But man, this is like, this was a hard watch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm happy for Jalen Brunson and Cat and Anunoby, IU legend, by the way. But it's just like, man, this was a hard watch, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Which, in and of itself, was a miracle considering how poorly they were playing. Throughout the third quarter, the Spurs attempted 20 shots. They hit 4 of them. In fact, they had more turnovers than they did made shots in the quarter. At the start of the quarter, the Spurs had a
losing ball
27-point lead. By the end of it, their lead was just 15. But
dude, I can hear people driving by playing just whatever the hell that is. Garbage.
that was some of the worst basketball the Spurs had played all season, especially considering the first half they just put up. It would take an unprecedented, horrific collapse to follow up that third quarter with an even worse fourth quarter.
No, seriously.
Cornette checks in. Hart tries a three. Hart hits a three. Suddenly it's cut to 16. That's 13 straight points. Alvarado tries a three.
You know what's crazy? And I don't want to be like, you know,
Rolls around and drops in. Beautiful pass inside. Bridges banks it home. Shot clock winding down. Towns off the bounce. Step back. Puts up the three. It's good.
crazy shot.
Three-pointer's good. 6 3-pointers for Anunoby.
You ever watch a game and see some stuff that can only be attributed to what feels like fate? Despite the adjustments, despite the attention to detail or the effort, it just seems like there's an outcome that is destined to happen. This was one of those games.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to, you know, sound like LeBron and be like, I knew he was gonna drop 81. I knew he would. I was watching the game with my boys. And I said, I don't know. I said, yeah, he probably gonna go for 70 that night. And when he got to 70, I was like, well, he might as well go for 80. I don't want to be like LeBron, but I'm not gonna lie, they were up like 20 something points in like whatever quarter. I was watching the game and I like low key knew. I just knew deep down that New York was gonna win the game. Like I really had a feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I live in a state where it's banned to sports bet. I would have put up money. I would have put up the house on the Knicks. I'm not gonna lie. Should have used the VPN because that payout 1% odds would have been crazy. But yeah, I just had a feeling, man, that New York was gonna win. Knicks in 5, man. Like everybody was saying. I'm not even a Knicks fan, bro. Go Cavs. Hey, fuck the Knicks, matter of fact. But W Jalen Brunson for winning the ring. He deserved that shit.
After having one of the greatest offensive halves in playoff history, regardless of the looks the Spurs got, they struggled to get them to fall. And regardless of the looks the Knicks got, they couldn't seem to miss. And after another run from the Knicks, the Spurs lead is now cut to just 11 points. Now, some of this can be attributed to experience. Some of it can be attributed to focus and sticking to a game plan.
Yeah, experience. That's what I was saying.
Luck. But when you're witnessing
some of it is just
basketball
crazy
player
shot
doing a
making.
balancing act, tiptoeing the backcourt in the midst of a historic comeback before heaving the ball to the opposing team, one may begin to believe there's a greater force at work here. I am sitting at home on the other side of the country, and I can physically feel the Knicks' momentum from my couch.
Yeah.
Coming back down the court, the Knicks got the ball to Cat in the corner, but he's got Wemby on him, the defensive player of the year, one of the best defenders of all time. Surely, he doesn't just go right at him and get another bucket here.
Towns fakes, drives on Wemby, goes inside, stops, flips it up, shot is good.
Of course he does. The lead, now just 9 points. Madison Square Garden is in mass hysteria. With a chance to swing the game back in their favor, the Spurs come back down the court. And considering their circumstance and what has occurred over the last 18 minutes, do you think they, A, work the ball around until they get a good look? B, feed the ball to their 7'5" alien superstar rolling to the basket? Or C, do the exact same thing that got him into this mess and take another early three-pointer?
Chipping away. Fox picks up his dribble. Champagnie can't get it.
15
Option
seconds.
C. You are correct.
15
But
seconds
look,
on the shot
Spurs
clock.
forced a turnover on the other
Up
end.
9.
They've got another chance to build this lead back up on the fast break.
And you're not hitting. That's what got you in the hole in the first place.
Any guesses as to what they will do on this crucial, potentially momentum-swinging possession?
Castle may have gotten a piece of it. Fox kicks it out. Vassell, right side, three-pointer, can't get it.
You can't make it up.
I fuck with
Down
that
on the
giggle.
other end, Jalen Brunson works his magic and makes a tough layup off the glass to shrink the lead to just 7. The Knicks are now on a 17-4 run against the youngest, most inexperienced finals team in league history. Now would probably be a good time to call a timeout.
Fox searching. Anunoby on him. Fox steps back, jump shot, puts it up, can't get it. Wemby tips it out of bounds.
Why, dude? Why?
Or not. The Knicks come back down the other way and immediately set a screen for Brunson. Why is Wemby guarding a 6'0" Jose Alvarado 20 feet away from the basket? I don't know. But after the switch, he's now on Brunson. But now he's dropping back to play strong side help with Champagnie in the corner. The Knicks swing the ball to the other wing, and there's Wemby right on time to help. And guarding this corner man is Champagnie. But wait, he was supposed to be in the opposite corner. which means someone's open.
Off the bounce. Corner
Who's that?
4-point game. Timeout, San Antonio.
One possession game. Mitch Johnson realizes he has the autonomy to call a timeout. Larry David is losing his mind, and the world is ending. Or at least it feels like it is, if you're a Spurs fan. But there's still hope. After trading a few buckets, the Spurs maintain their 4-point lead until there's about 2:20 left on the clock. And
See, like, let's look at that one real quick.
If you're David is losing his mind, there's still hope. After trading a few buckets, the Spurs maintain their.
Like, this is a problem I have with Wemby right here. 3:30, like, jump shots is what got you into this, right? 9 seconds on the shot clock. You have Karl-Anthony Towns. I get he's a bigger guy than you, like weight-wise. He's stronger than Wemby. But, like, dude, go to the rim, bro. He always be doing this shit. He always wants to take a shot over top of somebody. Get to the rim. You're 7'4", bro. You're 7'4". Get to the rim. You know what I'm saying? 5-point game, 3:30. Come on.
4-point lead until there's about 2:20 left on the clock. And Jalen Brunson hit this three over Wemby.
Shot clock at 5. Brunson fires up a 3. Puts it in.
Crazy.
1-point game. This building is shaking right now.
You ever see a dagger that wasn't a game winner or a go-ahead bucket?
And they're down.
Because it is now just a 1-point game.
Yeah.
And the Spurs are in a state of shock. How do I know this? Because on the very next possession, De'Aaron Fox, the team veteran, a starting point guard in the NBA Finals, did this.
Now Karl-Anthony Towns. Fox throws it away.
After 2 quarters of some of the most appalling basketball you've ever seen, this should have been the nail in the coffin for the Spurs and their hopes of winning this game.
Josh Hart ahead of the pack, lays it up. Lost.
Holy shit.
But it wasn't.
I feel like I'm watching for the first time again.
Josh Hart
Oh, this wasn't even game.
But it wasn't.
This wasn't even game 6 or game 5.
Josh Hart missed this wide open layup that would have put the Knicks up by 1. And despite their best efforts to lose it, the Spurs still have the lead. And on the very next possession, Wemby gets fouled and sent to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Now, Wemby is an excellent
Or was
free
it?
throw shooter with a career playoff free throw
It says
percentage
2-1
of
on the
85%.
scorecard.
He's also the future face of the NBA in a potential legacy-defining moment. of
He
his
did
career.
do this shit, though.
Under most circumstances, this trip to the line would put the Spurs up by 3 points. But this is far from most circumstances.
Yeah, I remember him doing this shit, bro.
Got that up on the glass. Credit Castle for creating those footsteps behind him. Wembanyama misses a free throw. The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Missed them both.
Okay, yeah, I don't think he
0 for
missed
2.
both in game
The
5.
lead, still just 1 point. Or at least, it was.
At 6, Castle on him now. Brunson, stutter dribble, drives inside, goes up, floaters up. It's good. The Knicks take the lead with 1:22 remaining.
For the first time throughout this entire game, the Knicks take the lead with just over a minute left on the clock. If this game ended right here, what you just witnessed is already the most improbable, most unbelievable sequence of events in the history of the finals. But somehow, despite there being just a minute 22 left on the clock, this game is far from over. Thanks to a pair of free throws from Stephon Castle, the Spurs regain a 1-point lead with just 30 seconds left on the clock. And on the very next possession, this happens.
Kicks it out in the corner. Brunson gets it back. Brunson on the drive. The floater's up. Shot won't go. Rebound deflected. In the backcourt. Fox has a chance to get.
Oh my God, yo, and this shit's terrible. This was terrible. Oh my Lord.
NBA players are the best basketball players on the planet. In spite of this, they still often make mistakes. And in the finals, these mistakes tend to live on in infamy. For every great, career-defining playoff moment, there are equally as many infamous blunders that stick with a player long after.
Don't play
they're
that
gone.
shit.
What you're about to witness is one of those mistakes.
Fox has it inside. Blocked by Anunoby. 9.
Like, dude, what are we doing? He did get fouled. I watched the replay. He got fouled. But, dude, like, you know the better option here? Dribble it out and get fouled and go to the line. I don't know. That's how he was acting, bro. Like, what?
Seconds remaining. 6 seconds remaining. And Mike Brown, will they call a foul?
With less than 14 seconds on the clock, the Spurs were up by 1 with possession of the ball. De'Aaron Fox could have wasted time off the clock and forced the Knicks to foul. He could have called a timeout. He could have cleared it out and passed it to a teammate.
Anything,
Instead,
literally.
He went up for a layup and got blocked, giving the Knicks one more chance to win this game. But of all the unlikely things to occur...
Oh, this wasn't game 5. This was the fucking Anunoby. I'm so tweaking. This was the Anunoby game winner prior to
this point, converting on a bucket with less than 6 seconds on the clock, down 1 in the finals is about as unlikely as any. Dating back to 1997, the beginning of the play-by-play era, there have only been 6 go-ahead baskets in the finals with less than 6 seconds left in the game. All 6 of these
Damn,
buckets
seriously?
cemented as some of the most clutch, legacy-defining moments in modern NBA history. Even after their historic, unprecedented comeback, the Knicks still had to pull off what has only happened 6 times in the last 30 years. What are the odds that they can pull it off? About as unlikely as everything that led them to this point.
It might just go flat for Jalen Brunson, allow him to operate at the top, 1-on-1. Brunson gets it, fires up a 3. Shot no good, the tip, it's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining! Next take
crazy.
OG Anunoby, and it's 107-106! Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it! The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history! The Knicks pull off a miracle comeback and lead it 3 games to 1. Now 1 win away from a title.
And that, my friends, is the greatest comeback in NBA history.
Yeah, you definitely, yeah, bro. Hey, we gotta do more NBA reacts. I was rocking with that. This guy makes good videos too. Makes great videos.